What's going on, guys? JonGTFO here, and welcome to Season 2 of the York City playthrough. We are now in League 2, which is a brilliant step up for our first season, and I'm glad we've been able to make the step up because, obviously, it makes my progression through the leagues a lot easier. So, what have I been up to? Well, first of all, let me show you the start of season expectations. As you can see here, we were given £438,000 as the transfer budget, which is an incredible amount for a League 2 side, I have to say. But the wage budget was only 13 grand, and we were already paying over that, so I pretty much had to put all the money into the wage budget, which eventually came out with me of a wage budget about 20 grand, which gave me about 6 grand to spend on wages, which, to be honest with you, wasn't too bad for League 2, but it could have been better. As you can see, these are the transfers, the most awaited thing that you've all been waiting for. And if you'll notice that I've brought in more than I actually got out, which was pretty impressive, I have to say. I've actually made a profit on this transfer season, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. So, who did we get in? First of all, first player was Lee Vaughan. Lee Vaughan's a defender, wing-back, right on the back, on the right side of the defence. I was recommended him by one of my scouts. Took a look at his stats, they're pretty solid. And he was on a free transfer, just thought, why not? Second transfer of the season was probably one of my favourite transfers, Alex Ray Harvey. I think I got it from Burnley. Correct me if I'm wrong there, guys, but yep, from Burnley I do believe. If we can look at his stats, very good stats for a League 2 side. He's only 21 years old, and he is probably one of the best players at my club at the current time. I mean, he's got good strength, very high aggression, which we may have to work on, good bravery as well, influence, tackling, long shots, you know, all pretty decent stats. And I'm really glad I was able to capture him. I think it was on a free transfer as well, so even better. Third transfer of the season was Gary Breen. He is actually my assistant manager, but he was the best assistant I could find on a really cheap wage because obviously, literally all of my staff went. I had me and a physio left, and I fired the physio straight away. So I've got in a complete new set of staff, which I'll show you in a minute. But yep, this is Gary Breen. To be fair, he has got actually quite decent stats for a defender, but he won't be playing because his pace is just too low, and I just can't be asked to play a really deep defensive line the whole time. But as you can see, he played for West Ham and Sunderland, so he has experience. But I needed a... Oh, that was a bit of a crap burp. I needed an assistant manager, and he was the best one I could find for the right amount of money that I could offer. I think this is the most expensive signing of the season so far, Daryl Murphy. He cost me 140 grand, which is quite a lot. That was a lot of my transfer budget. But as you know, I did get quite a lot of money in, so it's all good. But I think it's 60k of that is over 48 months, so it's not too bad. And actually, if we take a look at his attributes, he has already brought in 3 goals for the club and played reasonably solidly. So, you know, I think it's a good signing for me. He is my best striker according to my scouts. So, you know what, I thought it was a good signing, and I took it. This guy is my favourite signing of the season. His name is Loris Karius. He is a young German goalkeeper. Used to play for Man City, but they released him on a free. And if we're looking at those stats, guys, seriously, look at those. They would not go missing a championship quality keeper, especially at 19, and the way he can progress as well. You know, if I can get the right goalkeeping coach on him, he could definitely become a very solid championship keeper. Possibly Premier League if I keep his stats going up by the way they are. I don't know why Man City released him, to be honest. Maybe he wasn't that good for them, but still, for me, for a League 2 side, I'm incredibly pleased I was able to get him on a free transfer, and only 1.4k a week, which is another great bonus to him. Man City released a lot of their players during this transfer window. I managed to pick up another one. Ahmed Ben Ali, 20-year-old attacking midfielder and central midfielder. He was on a free. He's 1.6k a week. He's probably one of the weakest signings I made so far, after taking a look at my other signings. But to be fair, at the time, he seemed like a good player, and he's got his physical stats are pretty high for a League 2 team. So I thought, you know what, and he has caps for Libya as well. That's the big thing. He's an international, which in itself, as an international experience, is priceless. Obviously, it's Libya, and they're not the best team in the world. Well, far from it. But, you know, international experience, and he's a big lad. He may be short, but he weighs quite a lot. So, you know, he can boss around the midfield a little bit, and that's what I wanted. Because the English game is physical, and this guy seemed to me like he'd be able to help us out there. Our next sign was pretty much a replacement for Tony Silva from last season. This guy's called Zach Ailey. Zach Ailey? I'm going to go with Zach Ailey. And he's on loan from Blackburn, 20-year-old. Very decent stats. He's a bit pacey. He's not that pacey, but, you know, any pace is good pace on here. He's a big lad as well. Even though he's 5'9", he weighs a lot, so he can boss around. He's not going to get thrown off the ball if he's running down the wings, which I'm really good and happy about. And he can play left wing as well, which is the position I was really trying to fill for him. And, you know, dribbling stats there, technical's reasonable, off the ball, determination, work rate, you know, all reasonably good. So, for a loan signing for the whole season where I don't actually have to pay him any of his wages, I'm very pleased with him. Another little player who I actually looked at on my Fulham game, and then saw that he wasn't good enough for my Fulham team. Fair play to him. But I thought to myself, he may be quite good for my York team, so I got a scout on him, and they said he was pretty good. And obviously the work rate, the teamwork, positioning off the ball, all very high, and I like that in a player. You know, they've got a bit of work rate in them, so I'm very pleased with that. Okay, managed to get him on a free transfer again. Not as big as the other guys, but he's quite pacey. He's a bit of a, I don't know what he compares to. I think he's like a League 2 Ashley Cole, pretty much. That's how I describe him. Obviously, he's not ever going to be as good as Ashley Cole, but for League 2, I think he's a very solid player. Next transfer was Stacey Long. Yes, Stacey, apparently a man's name now. But, yeah, very, very good stats. He's an overall player as well. He can play anywhere in the midfield, which is the reason I got him, to be honest with you. Because, obviously, his teamwork, his work rate's pretty high as well, so he's a bit of a workhorse for League 2, and his flair's quite high as well, which is a bit of a shocking one for a white man, but oh well. Yep, and he wanted under £1 a week, which was great. I paid 40k for him from Stevenage, and yeah, I overall think it was a good transfer, even though he's quite a small player again. There are lots of small players in this team, now I have to say. I have noticed that now, but yeah, he can take corners, which is good. You always want a decent corner taker. So overall, I thought for 40k, you can't. Now, probably a familiar name to you guys, Nigel Quishy. Played for Portsmouth when they came up from the Championship in the first time, and he's not that good anymore. He's got some decent stats. I mean, he's pretty good for a League 2 side, but I needed some experience in there because genuinely I have 16 players in my whole squad who are over the age of 21, which is a good and a bad thing because obviously you've got a mixture of experience and youngsters in there, but you know, if the experienced guys get injured, it's going to be a bit awkward with all the youngsters. But you know, a young team's better than an old team. That's why I always say, you know, Fergie's young guns. What happened there? They started winning everything. So once they grow up and mature, I'm sure this team will be very good. But for now, Nigel Quishy, one of the older guys in the team, but I thought on a free transfer, good experience in the Premier League, so he can obviously help out with the youngsters as well, tutoring-wise. So, yeah, overall, I thought it was a good signing. Final signing of the season for us was Gary Richards. I can't remember what team he was from, but he cost me 30k, which was an absolute bargain. I think it was Gillingham. Yeah, he's from Gillingham. Cost me 30k, which is an absolute bargain. He's a very, very good defender for League 2. As you can see, he's got the main stats if I highlight them here. Head. Why did it do that? I don't know. Okay, apparently I can't highlight his stats anymore, but yeah. Heading, marking, tactic. I said tactical there. Tackling, you know, work rate, jumping, strength, all good for a defender. Aggression and bravery, although aggression's not great to have because you don't want to get them red carded, you know, you've got to have some aggression there so they can go in for tackles. Blah-de-blah-de-blah-de. Bravery's always good as well. Balance, natural fitness, strength, jumping, all good. So yeah, overall I thought it was a good signing for a defender, and as I think it was my second best defender got released during last season when his contract some reason didn't get renewed by me. I wonder fucking why. But yeah, overall, he's probably going to be my new starting centre-back, so yeah, another good buy. Now, if we look at the outs, obviously Man City swooped in from one of my youngsters. I have no idea why. I thought it was a pile of shit, to be honest with you. Jed Yale is his name. If we take a look at his stats, what? Why? Why would you do that, Man City? Obviously, they're seeing something I don't, because I think it's going to be absolutely fucking terrible. Yes, he can play a lot of positions, but he's even played a game for the Jesus Christ. You know what, I've had enough of that. And the rest are all on a free transfer. And Tom Owen. Reading came in with a 150 grand offer for Tom Owen. And I thought, go on then, have him. He's fucking useless for me. And he's alright, I guess. 150 grand, I'm not going to say no. But I'm really surprised I offered that much, to be honest with you. Same with the Man City bid. Pretty stupid, to be honest with you, but I probably would have released some on free transfers anyway, so I got, what was it, 700k in from that, just from those two transfers, which I would have got no money for anyway, so they pretty much paid for all of my transfers in, which, whatever. I don't know why, I got them on a free, I think that was compensation, which I didn't actually pay, but yeah, there you go, that's the transfers overall for season, so let's have a look at our pre-season fixture. So, how did pre-season go? Well, pretty well actually, I have to say. We took a 1-1 draw Blythe. As you can see here, Darryl Murphy getting on the score sheet, and Will Hatfield on the score sheet for Blythe. Took a 2-0 win at FC Halifax. Halifax, the bank, Halifax. Darryl Duffy getting another goal there, and Zach Ali, I'm going to go with Ali. I've got to remember that name because it's confusing. Ali. We dominated possession, we dominated shots, and overall it was a decent performance from the guys. Next result was pretty promising, to be honest. It was a 1-1 draw with the old Aston Villa reserves, but if you do notice, they have Stephen and Zonzi and Happy Bay on getting booked there, and we still dominated possession and shots, and we had to wait to injury time to score, of course, but have a look at their formation, their starting lineup. As you can see, Barry Bannon and Zonzi, Stephen Ireland, Happy Bay, you know, all probably first team players on the day, but I think we're pretty proud to take that. And as you can see, this was the team we were playing. Pretty strong team, to be honest with you. And I'm pretty glad, pretty happy at the result, to be honest with you. So, the final game was a 2-2 draw with QPR. As you can see here, another really good result against QPR, a championship side. Sean Scannell getting both goals for them. Alex Ray Harvey getting the early one for us, and then Darryl Duffy scoring the 90th minute. We seemed to score a lot of late goals, but I'm not complaining. And we did have more possession than them. Didn't do as well in shots, but fair play, they are a championship team. But if we can hold on to possession like that, I'll be very happy. So, that has been it for our pre-season of Season 2, to be honest with you guys. The first game I'm going to be playing is against Burton. We did draw Preston in the FA, was it League Cup or FA Cup? I think it was the League Cup, so don't be expecting me to get very far in that competition. But yeah, we've got Burton, first game of the season. You guys, not they, you guys have requested that I do a update of January. If I feel like doing one, I will. But honestly, I'm really not going to do much in January. I've got a pretty much full strength squad now. I'm spending over my wage budget now, so I can't actually bring any more players in unless the board's just silly and lets me buy more. But they shouldn't do, really. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I just got to quickly show you my staff, and then I think I'll end this episode. These are all the staff that I now have. Of course, JonGTFO as manager, Gary Breen, Dave Horrocks, Paul Barron, Len Bond, Jimmy Gillen, Steve Whitehall, Bobby Roberts, and Brian O'Toole. Probably my favourite out of these, for the amount of money he cost me, was Steve Whitehall, because look at that. He is a physio, and you know, you want physiotherapy behind. He's got 18 physiotherapy, determination 15. So, if only his level of discipline was higher. Never mind, he'd be perfect then, wouldn't he? He wouldn't come to me, but yeah, overall, I think it was absolutely brilliant getting him. And I think it really helps us, to be honest with you, because the physio and players aren't getting as injured as much. I have noticed that. I'm probably going to bring in one more physio. I don't know. Depends whether the board will let me or not. But overall, I'm thinking the staff setup here is really good. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please give us a like rating. And also, comment where you think we're going to finish in the league this year. I'm thinking mid-table. I'm hoping mid-table, anyway. I'm saying it's going to take us 2 years to get out of this league, 2 years to get out of League 1. And then when we get in the Championship, we'll be doing monthly updates for you guys. Then Premier League, if we do get there, probably monthly updates with one commentary like I'm doing with my Fulham one. So yeah, guys, like the video if you enjoyed it. And, yep, comment where we're going to finish. That is the main thing I want to see out of here, where we're going to finish. And anyone who gets it spot on hits their head on the sodding nail, I'll give you a shout out. So, yep, see you later, guys.